घास लग जाए फिर हम enjoy करेंगे. Hey, morning. Good morning. Good morning. United Kingdom. Good morning to everyone in United Kingdom. Welcome back to the live drive time session with Lakhi Singh in the alternative business and property solutions community with Lakhi Singh, the business and property fixer. Good morning. And yes, a new week, a new start, a new motto, and a new topic for today. We have, hopefully, when Lakhi Singh turns up, he will be around. We will also have the lovely Deborah Sophia come on, who's going to tell us about the essential oils for health and well-being. Having said that, we are also, excuse me for getting myself sharpened up. We also have the saying of this week. The saying of this week is if you follow all the rules, you'll miss all the fun. Now, I'm not saying don't follow the rules. I'm saying if you follow all the rules. So there are certain rules you must learn to break. Okay? I think it's important that you learn to break some rules. But having said that, in a period of lockdown, it's a bit confusing. A lot of people are not sure about what the rules really mean and what they are. Because they're not really rules, they're not even law, they're just guidelines, I think. So it becomes very confusing for people to understand what is meant by lockdown. Only last week, I think, or the week before, we had one of our members in the Mayfair office harassed, I think I would use the word, or stopped by a certain few individuals who started asking him weird questions and didn't really take his answers validly. Worse than that, they suggested he was fraudulently carrying around his mother's transport card, which is a bit weird in terms of why they would class it as fraud. I can understand it's not his card. His mother's card up, and he's getting and he's paying the full fare. Not really a fraud, I don't think so. And even if it was, they would have to prove for them to announce it on the side of the street is being a bit like judge, jury, and prosecutor. Sounds a bit like Judge Dredd, doesn't it? Maybe the future will be Judge Dredd, that the law enforcement agencies will decide who is wrong and who is right on the spot. Right, we have the lovely Deborah Sophia on. We're going to invite her on now because we don't seem to have Lakhi around. So we invite on the lovely Deborah Sophia to come on and explain to us essential oils for health and wellness. Good morning, Deborah. How are you doing?
Good morning, VKSL. I am awesome, thank you.
Excellent. As always, you're awesome. A lady with your sense of perception, I would say, or sense of awareness around her, I think could never be nothing but awesome. What do you say to that?
I think we all go through emotional roller coasters in life. I'm not always awesome, but when I'm on a dip, I'm able to pull myself out of that very, very quickly.
Are you? Do you actually go on a dip ever? Honestly, tell me. Do you ever get a bad? What bad? What can we work? Because I mean, it's very interesting for me to know. Because somebody with your energy and your givingness. Because look, I can't imagine that I could walk around and selflessly, because it's selfless, it's not selfish, it's selflessly give myself to people who I don't know, in terms of even giving them a hug. It's giving a bit of your own goodness to them, isn't it? It's giving a bit of your own energy to them. How does someone like that, someone selfless as you, how do you act when you don't expect anything back from anyone? How do you have a downer? On what? Why?
If I find my focus going in a direction that's not healthy for me, so for example,
Doner kebabs?
when I meet homeless people on the streets, right?
Yeah.
And I talk to them and I find out about their personal situation, and through no fault of their own, you know, they've ended up in a situation with no home and they don't get any help. And my heart goes out to them. It's like, you know, you're on the edge of the society and you can't help but, you know, feel the unfairness and the injustice that, you know, in the world there's so many people that have so much.
Well, I mean, Sophia, isn't it, sorry, Deborah, isn't it the sign of times, though? I mean, do you know it cost one magazine of live rounds of a light machine gun that could pay for that homeless person for a few months? And yet we continue to spend money on arms, ammunition, wars that really don't have any end product. They always end up, you know, Iraq, the classic example. They tore the country to bits, shredded it with bombs and, you know, weaponry, tested out their new weapons on it. It ended up coming to rewriting the constitution. So the pen is always mightier than the sword. That's my belief, because you can't have a perpetual war anywhere. It just doesn't happen. It just can't happen. Ultimately, you have to go down into negotiations and the pen, writing down terms of a truce or a settlement or a ceasefire. So why start the war anyway? Why have a war? And a light thing, when I look at people who are homeless, it's all a mental thing, Deborah. It's really a mental thing, how someone living in a developed country to find themselves on the periphery, in homelessness, and on the periphery of being literally, you know, starving, where you quite easily could find people who are working for about, what, an equivalent of £50 a month, and they're quite happy to work for that, and they haven't got any assets, don't have any, you know, they don't have any disposable income or wealth. They merely are working because that's the right thing to do. That's a positive thing to do, even in poverty. So isn't it not a mindset, Deborah? It's not really society's thought. Don't we expect too much of government? Isn't that what it's about?
In the situation, it's very, very hard for them to get out of it. You know, I've talked to many homeless people on the streets and they get into like a trap, and it's like a spiral. Some people do get out of it, but it's very, very difficult. The system isn't set up to support people.
Mm.
And, you know, a lot of people who are in a homeless situation have got drinking problems, and it's very easy for other people to judge them. But when you get drinking and you look at why that drink and drug problem came in, a lot of it is because, like, they're in children's homes, you know, for one reason or another, they couldn't live at home. Parents might have died or split up, or they've run away from home because of, you know, different situations. They end up living on the streets. They end up turning to drinking drugs as an emotional release. There's a lot of ex-persons that are living on the streets. So they've fought for the country. They've been there. They've been forgotten. and they end up with mental health problems, PTSD. What support is this for them? You know, and, you know, as a human being.
So how does that affect you? Okay, what do you see in you that allows you to go on a downer, seeing their, you know, the difficulty? Is it the fact that you feel you can't do enough to help them, or is it the fact that you're frustrated at a system that's supposed to be, you know, we're a developed country, for God's sake. We are a superpower. We are a nuclear power. What's the purpose of all that if we end up with people who are out of, you know, out of a house, that can't afford a roof over their head or can't be given that support? There's something going wrong, isn't there?
We've got a system. The system's broken. It needs to change.
Mm.
And it's about competition yourself. You know, it's like see life through somebody else's eyes, and see the hardship that we go through. You know, and so from my point of view, you can be down there with them and appreciate the hardship. But then I have to get myself out of that vibration. And one of the things that I was going to talk about today was essential oils, because
Okay, I'm going to stop you there because now is the right time to call Mr. We're going to go into that, but I just want to see, I want you to tap into mood changes, and you've answered that. And now it's going to lead on to the topic even more better, because it's like saying, how do you bring your back self into that center point that allows you to function normally and positively. So before we ask you how that happens, we're going to call on the ever wise, the ever it's a bit like the oracle of what's the oracle of? It's the oracle of Mayfair, the square. That's right. So we want to call him in. Lakhi Singh, please come in, you oracle. You round, tall, round object that has wisdom. Good morning, Lakhi Singh. How are you doing?
Hi, Lakhi.
How you doing? How you doing? Yes.
Good morning.
How you doing? Okay, Lakhi Singh. We're just talking, just getting the flavor right to get the topic in line with essential oils and their effect on your health and well-being, basically. And I was just covering Deborah, because Deborah's, you know, a lovely energy, lovely person, always got sort of giving person, really. So I was trying to work out, we were talking about the fact that she actually does have downers, she does have those bad days. And I said, well, what is it that affects you? What is it that gives you a down day? And, you know, it's basically one of the things was seeing homeless people, seeing people outside of the system, and the fact that, you know, probably a feeling of despair, maybe disappointment at the system, not being able to pull up people who are quite normally hardworking, possibly people who have, for no fault of their own, the system's thrown them out, put them on the street. And I said, well, maybe we rely too much on the system, don't we? Maybe we rely too much on the system, and we should have a sense of our own self-determination, things we should do. That leads on to the topic of this week, that if we obey all the rules, if we are too compliant, then we're going to miss all the fun. So one way of saying it. So Lakhi Singh, tell me what gives you a down, or what puts you down, because you're a positive soul, positive personality, one who's always optimistic about most things. Tell me, what is it that gives you a down, or what brings you down into a bad place, a dark place, or maybe a sad place, or a disappointing place. Is there anything that brings you down ever, being that you are who you are?
Looks like we've just lost Lakhi.
He's probably gone so far down, he's fallen out of the screen. Okay, Deborah, I'm going to continue with you now. Right, so we've understood there's something there that so it's all about other people, other situations. It's never about yourself. It's not selfish. It's about things which are selfless. Is that right, Deborah? Am I correct?
Yeah. I don't go into self-questions about me.
Excellent.
So
what do you do then? Let's talk about this. Go on.
Sorry about that.
Being back.
You come back again, Lakhi Singh.
That's right.
Are you having a mood swing or something, my friend?
You know me, I'm
having a mood swing. Okay. So tell me what brings you down, Lakhi. What gives you a feeling of despair or disappointment, or is there anything that can knock you down ever? Being it that you are Spider-Man and Superman mixed together?
not really, no. I think once you've seen so many things, you begin to realize that emotion involved in letting the things become bigger than you is a big mistake. Yeah.
Yes.
It just allows you then to feed into the dark side of you. So I think you have to do things to the contrary when those emotions kick in. So I don't really allow myself to give myself that option of actually wallow in melancholy or wallow in despair over what's happening in the world. If I did that, then technically, you're allowing things to control you. So you've got to really do the opposite. You've got to really, I actually focus on making sure that I'm strong enough to be detached from anything that's around me. That's the only way you can really create a change, by being more of a leader and being detached. And so that's the idea. Obviously, you might have a bad day, you might have an injury, something you can't control, you might wallow in it, but the end result is that it's not really going to allow you to become any better than you are. So I'd say that no, I don't get caught up in emotions. If I do, then I'll just let it sink through my system, go through all of it, and then basically become detached. So that's the ideal anyway.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And have you learned this through meditation, or are you using any special sense or special therapies of any kind to become like that? You're like a porous person. Everything seeps through you.
I think if you've got about 6 or 7 things that help. So having people that are quite reflective, like Deborah, to talk to, say you've got something like that happen, and you can go, so somebody else can probably help you to be the observer, to stop you also falling into the trap of bringing yourself, lowering your vibration. Other thing is that there are tools. I think there's a tool that Deborah uses, Healy, that's really good for the vibration. Top of that, I think there's basics like exercising, eating properly, meditation, and I think having an attitude of giving, I think, is very important, because if you can give, then you should also receive. So rather than worry about what the problem is, you can take an action and create a solution. That's probably better, isn't it, rather than to get caught up in the emotion of it.
Okay, now we're going to go over to Deborah, the expert. Tell us now, Deborah. Tell us how you Well, first of all, what the scents are about. What do they do? Secondly, your own personal experiences. What type of scents or aromas you use to bring yourself back out of a downer, as you call it, and bring yourself energy levels back up. So tell us now. It's your call.
Okay, so I came across. There's a lot of background noise. I came across essential oils. Yeah.
Is that you, Lakhi? Are you in the car?
I'm in the car, but it's not noisy.
Okay, cool.
Getting a lot of feedback.
Giving feedback. Okay, maybe one of us has to bring the mic down. Maybe your voice is perfectly clear. Lakhi's perfectly clear. There's no echoing on our side.
Okay.
Bring your mic down a tad few. Then maybe
I've actually put my headphones in to see if that fixes it, but it hasn't, and my microphone is down. Anyway, we'll see how we get on.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, so I came across essential oils in 2014 when I came back from Peru. Having been in the Amazon rainforest and working with the plant medicines there, I realised how potent plants are as healers. And that really switched me on to essential oils. I was actually offering free hugs at the yoga show in Manchester for 3 days. And a friend of mine gave me a peppermint experience. And peppermint essential oil is amazing. I had 1 drop of peppermint. Simply just put 1 drop on your hand like this. Just 1 drop. And that is the equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea. And just inhale it. And immediately, it increases my energy.
Right.
It gives me more focus. I can rub it on my forehead, on the back of my neck. So if I'm driving a long way, I use peppermint oil because it keeps me alert.
Rub it on your forehead, on the back of your neck. Anywhere else?
If you've got a headache, it's really good for just on the temples, you know. But if you've got head tension, but inhaling it as well. Now, when you smell an essential oil, it changes your mood instantly because it goes to the limbic part of the brain, which controls the body and tells it what to do. So if I am having a downer and I want to lift myself out of that, I'll use wild orange essential oil. And I love wild orange and peppermint together. It is so good. Oh.
Okay, does it affect? Do you have to go through the process of checking them all to see the effect they have on your mood? Because, for example, I think peppermint I enjoy drinking in terms of tea, but I find an exceptional calmness in chamomile when I have chamomile tea. I don't know, it has an effect on me to calm me down type of, or sort of like relax me. Peppermint probably does something else. Yeah, Lucky, what do you drink? What changes your mood?
What's the secret weapon then to calm you down?
Apart from wet lunches and stuff like that, talking about normal stuff.
Yeah, so chamomile is a calming herb, and it's a wonderful herb. It's really good for, like, chamomile essential oil is really good for, like, babies, for example. It's a very gentle one. So if they get
you reckon I'm a baby?
Like that, no, I didn't say that, BJ.
You're directly saying that I am a child still.
Do you want to act like a child? Or do you want to act like an adult?
Oh, you're going to spank me or something, are you? That's all right. I'm happy to go down that route. Okay, before I get spanked by Deborah, yeah, Lucky, what do you drink? What calms you down, you animal?
Tend to drink turmeric latte.
Turmeric latte, that's not a herbal drink. That's bleeding coffee and tea.
That's a coconut milk.
Coconut milk? How does coconut have milk? No, it hasn't got. Pardon?
I don't know. I just buy it in the shop.
Yeah.
Turmeric's very good. It's anti-inflammatory. It's very good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it good for, Deborah? What's the coconut good for?
Well, coconut's wonderful. It's like a superfood. It's good for the brain. You know, it's good for the body. And turmeric is anti-inflammatory. It's a very good spice to use. It's an anti-tumor as well. You know, a lot of people who are ill use turmeric. It's very good.
It's very good. Okay, so tell us, Deborah. Continue. So you tried peppermint.
So let's look at what are essential oils. Let's backtrack a little bit. They're from different parts of the plant. They're volatile aromatic compounds. Now, what that means, volatile means that they'll fly off into the atmosphere. So when we're using essential oils, it's good to use them with a carrier oil because that helps with the absorption into the skin. And it helps your oils to go further.
Okay.
And so depending on which essential oil it is, depends on which part of the plant it comes from, because it can be from the leaf, the bark, the stems, the petals, etc. And they can be cold pressed or steam distilled. Now, when you're actually sourcing oils, it's really important to look at the company that you're buying them from, and only to buy therapeutic grade oils that are thoroughly tested. The ones that I use are tested not just once, but between 5 and 15 times. And they're not just testing them for purity and potency, but also testing the chemistry of the oil to make sure that it's got the right chemical constituents in there that will give you the same results time and time again. So even if an oil is organic, even if it's pure, it doesn't mean to say that it will do a good job. The other thing to note is that just because something says it's organic, there's nothing to say that a plane isn't flying overhead and chemicals are coming down to land on the land. The testing of it is vital, because otherwise, you know, those chemicals end up getting into your bloodstream. And you know, on this show, we're conscious about health, and we have to be very careful what we're putting on our body. Now, I was really shocked when I came across the essential oil industry, because I found out that an oil can be labelled on the label as 100% pure, but VJSL, have a guess how much of the real essential oil needs to be in there for it to be labelled 100% pure?
Right. I would say with the potency that you use when you're talking about a drop in your hand and it changes, so I would say a bottle probably has something like 10% of original orange proper oil, and about 90%, you know, oil, normal oil mixed into it or something else mixed into it.
Well, according to the FDA, an oil only needs to contain just 5% of the real, and the rest of it can be chemicals, synthetics, carriers. So it's very dangerous to use them if they're full of chemicals. And this is why the sourcing of it is key. So I went out to the shop to put this to the test. And I went and bought a bottle of tea tree oil from like a chemist. It was just on the shop. And I can actually smell the chemicals in there. Because
you're used to it now, you understand the difference.
Because I'm used to the pure one, I can smell the chemicals in the other one because I've got the contrast. Had I not had that contrast and not known about the industry, I wouldn't have had that awareness.
What about throwing a dab of the oil into a shot of brandy or something? Could that be used, though, when you look at that as a theory? 5% real oil, 95% shot of brandy. Could that work?
You can use essential oils internally, but only if they're thoroughly tested and the manufacturer of those oils has had approval for them for that use. It's a controversial subject in the UK. Aromatherapists are taught that you can't use oils internally. But when you trace back where that came from, the lady that brought aromatherapy into the UK from France, had to go through all these loopholes in order for internal use. So rather than jumping through those loopholes, she just made a blanket statement that we can't use them internally. But that's not the case. They've been used internally in France and Germany for centuries. I use mine
internally. What does that mean? I know there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points where you can put in a drop of oil. Are they talking about those 5 points, or are they talking about someone injecting it in? Now, what they're talking about internally?
I take mine in veggie caps. So, like, if I was coming down with something, right, I would make myself up like an essential oil capsule. So this is just an empty veggie cap. I don't know if you can see that. You can take the top off it, but in there you can put in your essential oils, and this is a safe way of taking them internally. So one of my go-to oils is this one called On Guard, and this has got several things in here. It's got like 5 different oils. Like cinnamon, clove. Clove essential oil is the highest antioxidant known to man. You know, it's like off the scale on the ORIC chart. But this
which one was that? Deborah, which one was that?
It's called On Guard Protective Blend. So this is my.
Is that similar to the guard protection? You know, the underarm spray thing.
No, it's nothing to do with that. On Guard Protective Blend. So this helps to boost the immune system and the respiratory system, and it protects against environmental threats. And you can use this all 3 ways. You can diffuse it. When you're diffusing essential oil in the room, it releases the volatile aromatic compounds. So I know you've had previous shows about space clearing, and so essential oils are brilliant for clearing spaces. It shifts the energy in a room. It shifts your own personal energy, raises your vibration. And they are plant medicines, so we have to treat them with respect. And we have to know the safety guidelines for for using them. So when people buy oils off me, I make sure that they have those safety guidelines so that they're using them. So yeah, that's one that I wouldn't do without. There's another one which is really good, and this is the respiratory blend called Air. And the company that I work with, they actually have some oils that are pre-blended. So we can buy single oils, or we can buy ones that are pre-blended, which means that you don't need qualifications in aromatherapy to be able to use these for yourself.
Okay.
They're all scientifically formulated and tested to make sure that you're getting the same result. So the respiratory blend helps maintain like clear airways, makes breathing a lot easier. And
could that be used then as a cure or support against COVID?
We're not allowed to mention any disease claims, VJ Sal, for compliance reasons. I use my oils on a regular basis to keep me healthy and to keep me functioning. Yeah.
Okay.
And if I had any breathing issues, this is what I would use, and I would diffuse it, and I would also add it just a drop here to my chest, and then a little bit under my nose here, because you're getting the aroma from it then. Or you can do like a steam tank over water with a drop or 2 of oil, and use it that way as well.
Okay. Before we ask Lakhi Singh what he drops on his body parts, big shout! You got 4 love hearts. I think we've got 4 love hearts. 5 now. You got 5 love hearts, Deborah. 5 love hearts.
Oh, thank you.
I got a shout out from Carolyn, Hazel, John, and 20 minutes on as well. My partner in song, and Satwinder as well, giving a shout out. Thank you so much for joining the show. this morning.
everybody.
Hi, everyone. Yes. Lakhi Singh, what do you drop on your body parts? What? You put
I don't really put anything on my body.
nothing on your body? Oh, you need to listen to Deborah then, because she says putting things on your body can calm you.
I think I like the peppermint idea, so I'm going to take that.
You're going to take that.
I'm going to buy some peppermints from the shop and then put them all over my body.
No, don't buy it from the shop, Lakhi. I'll send you some. You don't know what you're buying when you're buying it from the shop. We've just gone through essential oil safety and sourcing your oils. They need to be from a reputable source. So you've got to be very careful how you source them.
What did you, Lakhi, say? What do you like dipping your what? Where? In what? Well, what did you say?
I said I'd like to buy some peppermint.
You want a peppermint? Okay. You have polos for that, Lakhi Singh. You don't need to disturb Deborah for that. Okay, Deborah, D20 says, is it fresh orange? Fresh orange apparently is an excellent antidepressant. I think that she likes that.
Yeah, that's what I use for a mood lift. All the essential oils are wonderful for lifting the mood.
What about just putting orange into a juicer and leaving the juice to sort of like give lots of smell off or something? Isn't that the easier way to do it? Pure orange juice? Pure
orange juice is different to essential oil. Essential oil wild orange is cold pressed from the peel of the orange, not the juice. So it's got very different chemistry and it does different things.
What if I just chew on the peel then, just like an orange peel, if I'm chewing on that? Won't that help me?
You could try it if you want, BJ Sal, but I don't fancy it.
And which company or where are the oils that we can regard as being authentic? Where are they coming from?
Well, the ones that I personally use are doTERRA's. I've been using doTERRA's oils now for almost 6 years. I use them every day. They help me with a restful sleep. They help with digestion. I use the supplements. I use the detoxifying oils. So yeah.
Do you use them all the way through the day? Are you changing the oil in the oil? What is it like a? Is it like a lantern? Is it when you dip the oil into? What is it?
No, well, I use them in different ways. So in the morning, for example, I might have a drop of lemon essential oil. This is really good for cleansing the body, detoxifying the body. It helps to pull toxins out of the system. So I just add 1 drop to some warm water and drink it. I just want to really stress that it's dangerous to do this from ones that you buy in the shop. You mustn't do this from ones that you buy in the shop. It's dangerous because of that reason that I explained about the safety of essential oils. It can be labelled as 100% pure. It only needs to contain 5% of the real stuff. Yeah, and I just want to really stress this. So when I'm talking about internal use, I'm only talking about this brand, this brand. And we can't do it with all the oils. There's some oils that you still like this one, for example. This one has a towel-proof top on it. This one's called Deep Blue Blend, which has got different essential oils in here. And this was my go-to when I broke my rib, and this is my pain relief. So what I did is I used the Deep Blue Blend with some carrier oil, and I put it over my rib cage, and then I put frankincense essential oil over the top of it, because frankincense and peppermint are what we call enhanced oils. And when you combine them with other oils, it enhances the effectiveness of them. But frankincense has a lot of anti-inflammatory properties. And where you've got pain, you've got inflammation. So these two together were my pain relief for my broken rib. And it was amazing how that worked. And you're not getting the side effects that you would get when you're taking medications. So,
Okay,
you know,
the question I want to ask you then, Deborah, okay, because what you're doing is you're doing exactly what my mom does. You can have this for that, you can have that, have a bit of that, then you got that as well. That's very good for this, and then you have some of that, and that's really good for this. All it does is just gives me a long menu of things that I'm not sure how to start. How do you start even considering the taking of any of these herbal scents? What's the start point? Because I may not think I've got any illness. I may just think, okay, I'm perfectly fine. No aches, no pains. Yeah, general muscle pain once in a while if I've been doing something. But otherwise, I don't feel anything. So I don't really find that I need to fix anything. How do you start then? How do you start using these, or what's a general one to use?
I'll share how I started. I was offering hugs at the yoga show. A friend gave me the peppermint experience. I had really sore knees because I've been doing a lot of mountaineering when I was in Peru. So she gave me the deep blue, which I rubbed on my knees and all the pain went away. And I thought, well, this is really good stuff. And whilst I'd used essential oils previously, I'd used like lavender and tea tree. Those were the only two that I really knew about. And so my intuition was telling me to buy a set of essential oils. And I needed to, I didn't have the money to do it at the time because I'd come back from Peru with no money at all. But I had a credit card and I always listened to my intuition. So I bought a starter kit and I found out that there's like different ways of getting started. And this is the one that I bought, this one here. It's got the top 10 oils in it. And that does away with about 80% of the things that you would normally buy over the counter in the pharmacy. So if you've got those top 10 oils, it means that whatever's coming up for you, if you've got them in stock, you can use them straight away. And then your recovery time is so much quicker. Otherwise, you've got to wait until you've got an order that's been delivered by the post, or, you know, find a shop that stocks high quality oils. And that's not always easy to find either. So if you've actually got them in the house, it's easy. And that starter kit is only like £115. So it's not a big investment for your health and wellness.
Okay. I'm just going to cut you there because I want to know now how, Lakhi Singh, would you forego a lunch to buy one of those kits?
Definitely, I think I'm sold. I think you can't, there's always new things that you need to be learning and understanding.
You mean you're always getting to learn something new?
That's right.
I also do a free wellness consultation with people that buy a kit off me because, and that's for an hour, to make sure that you know how to use the oils, and also to do like a health review, like where are you now with your health, and what are the top 3 priorities you've got for your health, and then we look at which of the oils you've got can support that condition, so you know how to use them. And we have a plan and schedule into your day. Do this in the morning, this in the afternoon, this in the evening. And then we've got Facebook groups for support as well. So there's education and training included in that £115. So it's an hour consultation, 10 oils, and access going forward. And you get a wholesale account. So it's like you've got all your oils at 25% off. So it's a no-brainer.
Okay. So what are you looking for when you're doing these consultations then? Because I'm sure everybody's got about a list of 20 things that are not right with them, or mentally or physically or emotionally. So what's the important one you're looking for? What's the one that fixes? It's like having one thing that leads to a solution for other things. For example, when we spoke to Lakhi Singh, we were talking about the mind and the body, and realizing that one has a priority of the other. What's more important? Is it the mind or the body? How do you get yourself into control during the lockdown? Our answer to that was that, you know, the mind is more important. We need to be aware that if the mind is being catered for, we can always be rest assured that the rest of the functions are going to be working properly. So what's your main function? What's the main thing you look for? What are you looking for first and foremost that happens to be the causation for everything, or at least the majority of the things?
So I look at it in a holistic way. I'm not just looking at it from an essential oil point of view. And the first thing I do, I work with like a wellness pyramid. If I just hold this up here, this wellness pyramid. And it's about looking at the foundation. Is the foundation right? Is what you're putting into your body right? You know, it's like Hippocrates said, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. And what you put into your body is your fuel. If you're putting rubbish in there, if you eating processed food, you know, foods that's like got chemicals and pesticides, which the majority of our food has, that those toxins get stored inside the cell wall. So we have to look at the foundation. A lot of people who come to me are already sick and they're looking for solutions. They've tried things and, you know, they've had side effects. You.
You're making me sneeze.
From medications. And so we look at the lifestyle. What are the products that they're using in the home? You know, what chemical cleaners?
So you start from the kitchen, do you? You actually start from the kitchen.
In the kitchen, what are they putting in the body? But then also, what products are they using in the home? Because like when you're washing your hair with shampoos and conditioners, all that is getting absorbed into the body. Those chemicals are in there, and they get.
Okay, Lucky, did you know that? Just 1 minute, Deborah. I'm going to ask Lucky, did he know? Did you know that whatever you've been putting your long fingers into, that's getting absorbed in your body? Did you know that?
I knew that, yeah.
Why were you putting your fingers everywhere?
A necessary part of bathing.
Okay, right. Continue, Deborah. Yes.
So I find that the majority of people have got something called Candida, which is a yeast overgrowth in the digestive system. And there's a simple test that you can do. You can take a glass of water to bed with you. I mean, I've just got my celery and cucumber juice here, but
you like romantically? Why would you want to take a glass of water to bed with you?
Because first thing in the morning, you work with saliva in your mouth. It's important that you don't have a drink first because it needs the bacteria from your mouth.
Yeah.
And then you spit it into the water and leave it for about 15 minutes and then observe it after 15 minutes and see what happens. If this saliva...
Let's repeat that. Hold on, that's very important. Okay, so you've taken a glass of water to bed with you. Is that in the night or in the morning?
It could be either. But first thing in the morning, you need to work up the saliva in your mouth and spit it into the water.
Excellent, yeah.
It's important you don't have a drink first. It needs the bacteria in your mouth that's been resting overnight.
Yeah.
And then observe it after about 15 minutes. If it's starting on the top, you're okay. It's not a candida issue. But if it starts to grow tentacles and sink to the bottom and the water's going cloudy, your candida levels, it's an indicator that your candida levels are too high. Now, everybody has candida. The normal level is 5%. But I had it chronically. Right?
Okay, can you just a minute? Let's ask Lucky. Can you imagine taking your glass to bed at night, Lucky, and spitting on it?
Yeah, I'll take one for the team if I have to.
Okay, and can you imagine spitting on it, on your glass?
In it, not on it.
Oh, sorry, in it. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Spitting in your glass first thing in the morning. Can you do like a big greenie type of thing, or does it have to be just normal spit?
Just normal spit.
Lucky, remember not to get overzealous and start taking out like real greeny stuff as well. Just spit in it. Can you just spit in it?
VJ Sal, that's too much information. That's horrible.
Oh, okay. Let's just get back to Deborah then. Deborah, right, you spat in the glass. If it goes, sinks down and makes the water murky, you got something wrong with your Candini level.
Candida.
Cantiga. Okay, what is Cantiga again?
No, Candida.
Candida.
C-A-N-D-I-D-A. Candida. It's a yeast overgrowth in the digestive system. But the thing is that it masquerades itself as over 80 different illnesses. A lot of the autoimmune diseases are as a direct result of Candida. But what the doctors do is treat the
what illnesses?
It's at the root cause of over 80 different illnesses, including a lot of the autoimmune diseases. So a lot of people who come to me for a consultation, I get them to do the spit test, and then we can see if that's the root cause. Because it's important to get to the root and not just treat the symptoms. And so if it's Candida, you have to treat it through diet, through an elimination diet.
Yes.
And eliminate anything that's going to feed the yeast, like sugar, alcohol.
Right.
A lot of fruits are not good for Candida because it's feeding the yeast and it makes it worse.
Fruit? Well, like what fruit?
Like fruit, tomatoes are acidic. You know, it's about alkalizing the body.
Yeah.
And
so
having
what type of thing can you think
to
kill that? Is milk good to kill the Candida?
Oh, milk isn't good. You can't have any dairy when you're on the Candida eating plan.
Okay, so what type of thing?
And it's important that you take supplements. Lemon's good; it's alkalizing. But you can take supplements to kill off the Candida. So you've got to treat it through supplements. So, for example, there's one that's a Candida, and also oregano essential oil is also very, very good at sort of this type of thing. You know, but oregano is a hot oil, and if you apply this to the skin neat, it will burn you. So you must always use it with a carrier oil. And there's ways that we use it in a protocol. So I talk to people about their individual requirements and then can guide them accordingly. But Candida is a serious problem. A lot of people have got it. When I had it, I had fatigue. I was coming home from work and just like needing to sleep. I had pain, a lot of pain. Just even to the slightest touch, I was in agony. I had brain fog. I was had very low mood, and this is going back to about 2003. And then I found out that it was Candida, and then I started to treat it through supplements and my diet. And within 3 weeks, the pain had gone away. Within 3 weeks, my mood had shifted, and I had more energy. You can have a very, very quick turnaround on this. But it's important to do it in a certain way, because otherwise you can get what we call a Herxheimer reaction, which is where your body starts to detox too quickly. And if you're very ill, you think, oh, this isn't working for me. This is making me really sick. But what's actually happening is the toxins are coming out of the body. That they're coming out of the body too quickly for your body to be able to cope with. Now, some people do a cold turkey and they just work their way through that. But, you know, it's important that if that starts to happen, if you start to detox too quickly, you then cut back on the protocol and do it do it gently over a period of time. And this is what I help people.
So is this protocol a bit like the protocol of Zion? Is it the same type of protocol?
I've not got a clue what that one is, VJ.
Yeah. Lakhi Singh, do you think it's a bit like the protocols of Zion or something else, do you think? I think Lakhi Singh spitting in his car or something, maybe practicing to spit. Are you going to practice spitting all day, Lakhi Singh, today?
I think you're from a different planet that nobody's ever heard of. I think we don't really know what you're talking about, Vijay. So we can get a translation later from the language of Zion.
Yes. Okay. So are you practicing? Are you going to be practicing your spitting techniques?
I think I'll give it a go. I'll have to take some pictures because I'll send it to you to maybe have a look for me, Vijay Sal.
Yes, I will have a look at them and tell you what I think about your spit. Excellent. Deborah, please continue. I have enough of Lucky spitting competition. Do you remember Spit the dog? Did anybody remember Spit the dog?
I do.
Yes.
On Chris Tarrant's breakfast show.
Spit the dog. Yeah. That's a bit like that. We could have Lucky as Spit the property fixer. Okay. Right. Okay, Deborah, continue, please.
Yes. So I was talking about the Candida Protocol, and it is actually in the back. When you order a kit, you get this booklet with it, which goes through like a lot of the oils, and then right on the back page, it's got the it's a 30-day cleanse protocol. So, and it's in 3 different phases. You've got an activate phase for 10 days. Then you've got a reset phase for 10 days, and then you've got a renew phase for 10 days. And it shows you what to take when. And it's a very effective protocol. I do this twice a year myself because having had Candida all those years ago, I know how easy it is to come back. And I do this as a maintenance thing for my own health and wellness. But essentially, they're amazing.
That's good. So what you're saying is, Deborah, in summary, because we're in the last 3 minutes, and I hate to let you go mid-speech, and I think it's important whenever we have you on, we don't have enough of you. So I think if we can have you on again, and we can just literally take the viewers, people through spitting in a glass, we can ask Lucky to be the monkey or the sugar. The monkey or something else. So he can actually take us through the exercise of spitting in a glass. While we do the discussion, we'll see where Lucky's spit is, and if he's got that Candida thingy, we can just try and inject him with some of this oil. Can we inject oil into him?
No, you don't inject oil.
Okay.
You apply it topically, or you diffuse it, or
you diffuse it. We'll diffuse it on him, like we spray him with it. Yeah. Okay, Deborah. Summarize then. So you're saying for today's lesson, although we've got lots of different oils and there's lots of different virtues on them, some may overlap and some may be mixed to have an effect that creates an essence of 2 or 3 things. Are you saying today's learning is basically you have to start with the kitchen, with the stomach? Is that correct?
You've got to start with the foundation for health. We're talking about health in general here. We're talking about healthy lifestyle. We're talking about the alternative property show, aren't we? You know, the alternative.
Yes, it's all about the alternative. That's right, being alternative.
Yeah. So, and the other thing that I just mentioned that just before we go is that working with the frequency device as well, you can actually pop essential oils on here and extract the frequency of them and use the frequencies as well, which are so you can either use the physical thing or the frequency of the oils. And I do that a lot when I'm doing remote sessions with clients.
Excellent. Okay, we're going to continue this discussion with some live examples. I think I'll try and do that next. We have you on. So we have Lucky as our guinea pig or as our guinea monkey. And we will ask him to perform some of these initial tests once he purchases your pack. And you need to give us a live explanation, Lakhi Singh. Possibly that's the right thing to do. Give us a live feedback on a daily note, if you can, what each essence is doing for you. And we could have that like as a testament to what Deborah is talking about. What do you think, Deborah? Could that work? Do you think that would be interesting?
Well, he'd have to do the as soon as he got out of bed, because he's not allowed to drink anything before he does it. So that's the key thing. So
okay, so we just make sure he doesn't drink anything before he gets to spit in the glass, and we'll get him to video it, so we've got it as evidence that he got out of bed and spat in it.
I think we can do it, DJ Sal. I don't think we need the evidence there.
Yeah, we don't need the evidence. Okay, we'll just ask him to
You
show us.
do it as well. You do it and I'll do it, and then we can all like compare.
Each other's glass. I don't want to have to spit in your glass.
Well, that'd be hard on Zoom.
Yeah. Okay, we'll spit in our glasses. Right, Lakhi Singh, your last word for today. Please tell us, what do you think? Obeying all the rules? Are you going to miss all the fun if you keep obeying all the rules?
Well, my last word of the day is that there's a reason that essential oils are essential.
I love it.
Very nice. Very well. You've got oil in your car. It's giving you an active brain this morning. Anyhow, Deborah, love you as usual. Have to leave you. We'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. The drive time session with Lakhi Singh, the business and property fixer in the alternative business and properties community, solutions community. See you tomorrow and take care. Thank you very much, Deborah. We'll organize another day. We'll do some more practical work with you.
Yeah, if anybody